Hello and welcome back to another exciting, riveting, whatever other words you want to throw in there, episode of Coffees and Cuddles. As always, I'm the coffee part of the equation, and with me by my side, as always, is the beautiful, ravishing, stunningly beautiful Cuddles.
Wow. I was going to say after your first part of the intro there, I was going to buy you a thesaurus, but well, I don't think I need to. I mean, all those words you gave to me are just now that I've heard everybody's ears. And as always, is our
Rambunctious
zoo
puppy.
is McCoy and Blue and Onyx.
Because if a cat sits on the back of the couch, that's just wrong and evil and verboten, and I'm just going to run on with words here. I'll stop there.
All right, then. Why don't you tell them what tonight is all about?
What it's all about for our neighbors to the north? No?
Oh,
Wendy,
no,
Wendy,
baby, no.
Wendy, if you're listening, that one was for you. This week, we want to talk about partner shaming. What it is, what it was, what it shall be. Wait, I'm quoting.
No, we don't want what it shall be, but since I didn't know what it was, maybe you better explain it because I don't quite know that I get it.
Just because I bring up the topic doesn't mean I know everything about it, or I can
Okay,
explain.
what's
I can
the
explain it
general
very well.
definition?
I see a lot of videos, Facebook Reels or TikTok Reels, where, let's say, for instance, not pointing fingers or naming names or anything, but let's say it's a partner and their, or a person and their spouse, or partner or person. One will come to the other one and say, I would like you to do the dishes, or I'd like you to help around the house. And the other person says, okay. Now, maybe they don't get up to do it as quickly as they should, or maybe they don't stop playing their video game as quickly as they possibly could. But eventually they do get up and do whatever the task is that you ask them to do. But in some cases, that's not good enough for these people. They want it done right now. They want it done the exact way they told them to, or sometimes they want them to be mind readers and just expect their partner, well, shouldn't you know how I wanted it done? So what if I didn't tell you? So they take all these things, these experiences and whatnot, and then they turn to their cameras and their social media pages and accounts, and they put their partner on full blast. One of my favorite accounts on Facebook is called the Dadvocate, DADVOCATE, and she takes these partner shaming videos and the man bashing videos and gives a different perspective to it than what the person who posted the video wanted them to do. And she gets a lot of heat for it and a lot of flack from women. And I think sometimes men, but I think most of the time the women that are giving her a hard time about it are the ones that are the problem children to begin with. Now, I'm not saying that you can't be upset because your partner did something or didn't do something. Cuddles and I are from a totally different generation and era where you didn't air your dirty laundry for the world to see. It was kept in house. It was kept between two spouses or two people, and you didn't share it with your coworkers, and you didn't share it with your coffee clutch and the other, like the other moms in the neighborhood. Just you kept it to yourself. Now, I'm also not saying that you can't have somebody to talk to or rely on, but I don't get the point of airing this for millions of people to see. And I get it. It's all about content creation. It's all about getting views and getting likes and getting whatever so they can monetize their channel. Personally, I am of the opinion that if your channel is nothing but shaming your partner for how stupid and moronic and evil and whatever he is because he doesn't do things. I keep saying I'm sure there are men out there that do it. I haven't come across a lot of those videos, mostly because men keep to ourselves and we don't do that thing as a general rule. I'm not saying it doesn't happen because it does. But, to sum up, now that I rambled on, that to me is what partner shaming is. It's publicly going out and bashing your man or your woman over stupid things that should never see the light of day.
Well, I've not seen any of these types of videos, but I will say that since you've come to California, that if there's a way that I've always done something and there's a way that you've done it that's not the same way as mine, I'm hoping that I have not said anything or done anything to make you feel that way.
Oh my God, where do I even start? No, I asked you how you did the dishes. I asked you how you did your laundry, and everybody's particular and picky about how laundry is done. I get that. You have your ways and you're set in your ways. And I think the other day I told you the joke about I was I was married before I knew there was a wrong way to put the milk in the refrigerator, because apparently that's a thing where people will go and say, "Oh my God, I can't believe how he put the milk on the door, or he put the milk on the wrong shelf, or why is there a wrong shelf? What is there? Is there a refrigerator loading rule or handbook that I'm unaware of?"
No, but say, for example, that your milk container is 10 inches tall
Right,
and the space on your shelf is 2 inches tall.
right,
Clearly, you can't put the milk on that shelf.
right. Clear. I understand that, but I was in situations in my life where I folded the towels wrong, and I folded the underwear wrong, and I folded the socks wrong, and I did everything wrong. And I get it. Like I said, I get that you're particular about how you want things done, but you can't go into a relationship and just automatically assume that your partner's going to know how you like things. Now, I don't always fold shirts the way you do. I've tried. I can't. If there's some kind of witchcraft or voodoo that you do, where you take the shirt and like boom, 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 and it's folded and looks like it should be on the shelf in a retail store somewhere. I can't fold shirts like that. You should see this. She twists her hands and her fingers move in a certain way, and bada bing, bada bang, bada boom, folded shirt. I can't do it. Now I try and I get close, but I don't do it. And you've never once given me crap about it,
No,
because
never once.
the same thing with laundry. I have an ex sister in law now that had a particular way of folding her towels. All right, fine, it's your house, and I'm helping out. I guess I look at it as, now I'm not saying that there's one gender role that is in charge of laundry, and there's not one gender role that's in charge of dishes or cooking or whatever it is. But if your partner takes the time out of whatever it is they're doing to help you, and I'm not saying that you don't deserve the help. I'm not saying that your partner's entitled to never lift a finger. But if they offer to help, or they just like sit down next to you and start folding, why would you complain? And no, all right, normally I don't curse on this show. I don't like it. I don't really believe it, and I'm trying very hard to not do it in real life. But why would you bitch about it?
Beep.
Thank you. Perfect
I
timing.
don't think I got it.
I think you got close enough. Let's try that one more time. Why did you?
Beep.
There you go. Now the FCC is happy. I don't understand why you complain about it. Oh my God, he's not doing it right. Or, oh my God, she's not doing it. Men generally don't care. It's like, all right, you're taking the time to fold my underpants. Thank you, But with my ex, I was told that I wasn't putting my underwear in the drawer correctly. I didn't know there was a wrong way, or a right way.
Well,
I would
the
put them
general
in.
rule of thumb is you open the drawer,
Yes.
you set them inside,
hold
and
on,
you shut the drawer.
Hold on. Let me get a pen and paper, because I might have missed a step.
Step one.
Step one. All right. Open drawer.
So let's back up a bit. So you weren't putting them in the drawer correctly?
Apparently not, because I would find her sometimes going behind me and redoing my underpants drawer, which I never understood. So eventually I just said, look, it's my drawer. It's my underpants. I will put them in there the way that I want them in there. And she would give me a hard time, because I would put like important paperwork in my underwear drawer, like my birth certificate,
I do
or
that.
or receipts, or something, some important document. And she's like, why you do that? Because I know where it is. I know it's in that drawer. I don't have to worry about running around the house like a crazy person saying, oh my God, where is it? I don't know where it is. I'm like, I know in the back of my head, it's all right. We'll file this in the top drawer, or whatever drawer you put your underwear in. It's just, that's where important things go. rocks and little things that my kids had given me, or little doodads that my kids had given me. They all went in the underpants drawer because this is where the important stuff goes. I don't know why that drawer. Could have been a sock drawer. Could have been a thong drawer. I don't know. No, I do not wear those. Just in case you're out there scratching your head saying, "Oh Lord, that's way too much information for me."
I think this topic has gone way off the beaten path. We were talking about partner shaming, and now we're talking about what goes in the underwear.
Exactly. Things are, but it all ties in. It all ties into you're doing it wrong. And I have to go out to my TikTok channel and I have to post a 10-minute rant about how stupid you are and how wrong you are, and oh my God. And I really don't get it. If your marriage or your relationship is that horrible.
Now that you've scared people with that voice. So, I certain ways that you're used to doing something and you find yourself in a relationship where two households are becoming one household. These are probably things that should be discussed. Like, if not that one person should be in charge, but two people, two different households are merging into one. So together you should find a system that works and decide what goes in what cabinet and how are you going to arrange the refrigerator, whether or not you're going to put labels on, where the canned goods go and all that. Instead of one person being domineering and saying, this is the way we fold this. This is the way we do that. This is the way we sort this, that, and whatever. Because I have to tell you that for a while, I've been completely on my own and kind of got into this habit of doing things certain ways. And then, of course, the pandemic came along and, then I really found myself doing certain things in certain ways. And
then I showed up.
And you know what? It was actually kind of nice that, somebody was folding something differently or putting something in the dishwasher differently, because I was really falling into that trap that I was beginning to think, I wonder if I could end up with OCD. Not that anyone who has OCD has a problem, because everybody has things that make them special. And if somebody does have OCD, that just makes them who they are and makes them unique. And as I said, special. But in my head, I was really starting to wonder, am I going to get to that point where if it's not done a certain way, then I can't function? So it was really kind of nice having somebody come in and fold something differently or put something away where I wasn't expecting it to go, because I feel like it broke up the monotony in my head, if that makes sense.
I don't think I've really rearranged any cabinets. I rearranged like the pantry cabinet or whatever you call it.
Didn't know you organized it.
I
can find stuff in it
right,
now.
I put things where I thought they should go, but we discussed it and we talked about it. I said, "What do you think of this? Or what do you think of that?" And I want to back up a little bit. Here at the Coffee and Cuddle Show, we have like not monotonous. We have strenuous, detailed show meetings about what we're going to talk about. And I think the last one was about 30 seconds of, I think we should do this. And you agreed. And all right, that's how we did our show planning.
That was strenuous.
It was. Now, when I brought this idea up to you, you said that you weren't familiar with like the online part of it, but you did mention that you did experience a little bit of that or something similar in real life.
Okay. So back in my, so many years ago, before, there were things like, online dating apps and all that. I used to go in to different chat rooms, and I mean, we're talking a long time ago, people. When I was, was so many years ago.
Like AOL chat room.
No, more like BBS,
Okay.
that kind of thing. And I would talk to different people, and I had a group of friends that we would all talk together, and I met someone um on this, in this room, let's say, and everybody right away told me, you do not ever want to meet this person. This person's bad news. Stay away, stay away, stay away. So during one of our meetups, he happened to show up and he just said all the right things and seemed so nice and so sweet. And I couldn't figure out what these people were talking about. And of course, as soon as they caught me talking to this guy, it was like, back off, bad news. Wish I had listened. I really, really wish I did, because I started dating this guy, and not too long after we started dating, he started doing very subtle partner shaming things. He didn't go online and do this. He did this in public in front of other people. For example, we would be going somewhere. He would see some other woman and talk about how, why can't I dress like that? Now, I know people are saying, well, that's not partner shaming. I'm getting to that part. So I would try to do that. Okay, you like the way that person's dressing, so I'll try to dress that way. But no, that was never good enough. He used to be a martial arts instructor, and I came to the studio one day, and normally I would enter through the back door of the studio. And for some reason on this particular day, I couldn't get in through the back door. I think it was locked or blocked, or I'm not sure exactly what was going on. So I had to go around through the front. Now, his students are told a specific way to enter the studio, which has never been told to me. So I was not aware that even though I wasn't a student, he expected me to enter like his students did. And I didn't do that. And right away, he told me I owed him so many push-ups. And he got mad and said, don't you dare disrespect me. You better do this. My students are watching, blah, blah, blah. And I was just shocked, because now all these people that I don't really know are staring at me. The people who are there watching their children or whoever have their lessons are staring at me. And I'm just shocked. Like, what do I do? And I didn't do it. I didn't do what he said. He got even more mad at me and just started just coming up with things like, you don't know how to dress, and you don't know how to do this, and you don't know how to do that. And he's doing this in front of his students and in front of people who are there to watch the lessons. These are people I don't know. And he's doing all this to me. And I have to tell you, having it done in such a public way where all these people are staring at you, not like it's on a TikTok or Facebook reel, is absolutely painful. It hurts. It is just the worst thing you can go through. Now, I don't know how people feel when their partner is doing this to them on a TikTok or what have you, but when you have it done to your face in a public setting, it is absolute HE double hockey sticks. It hurts. It's degrading. It's abusive. And I am very thankful to say that I wised up and I got out of a bad situation, because if he was doing this to me in front of students and guests, what would he do in front of children? What would he do in front of my coworkers? What would he do in front of his family? So,
And you let this prince of a person get away?
oh yeah. It actually took me, we broke up shortly after because of this. He broke up with me, and stupid me, I ended up going back to him because, he turned on the charm and I thought this was the right thing. And it started all up again. And this time I gave it to him. I just gave him the, biggest chew out of my life. Only I did it to his face in private. I did not do this in front of other people.
Right.
I probably should have.
You said you don't know how the partners that are being shamed. Sometimes they don't know. Sometimes they have no
They
idea
probably don't know.
unless like friend or family member comes and says, "Did you know what they were doing on their TikTok channel or their Instagram channel or wherever?" And they sometimes they don't even know. So not only are you not communicating with your partner
Communication is
right
key.
about what they're doing, what they're not doing, but you're like totally cutting them out of the equation. And people choose sides very quickly on the internet. Um, some time ago, the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing, she came out and said what a pig he was and what an animal he was and all these bad things about him. And so many people like ran to her side and said, "Oh, you poor thing." And that's so horrible. And he's a beast and he's evil and he's all these other things. That was one of the few times where I didn't rush to judgment, and I waited and I waited and I dug in deeper. And then as it went through the trial, more and more things came out where, I'm not saying he's perfect. He is the best Captain Jack though. So no one can ever replace him. But I waited. I didn't rush to judgment as I sometimes do or often do, because you hear something and it's almost a visceral reaction, like, "Oh my God, I'm immediately polarized and I must choose a side right now." You don't have to choose sides right away. Do your own diligence and dig in and find out both sides of the story. There's my side, their side, and somewhere in the middle is the truth. No one side is ever 100% correct, and no one side is ever 100% wrong. Well, almost never. I could cite examples of people that I've dated that were 100% wrong in many situations. But like Cuddles said, communication is key. If you have a problem, talk to your partner. Don't yell. Don't scream. Don't come in pointing fingers. Have a calm, rational discussion. I will tell you, this is not something that I've always done. It's only been within the last few years where I felt free enough and I felt safe enough to come to her and say, "This is bothering me," or "You said this at dinner." I didn't say anything then, but I've been stewing on it. And the more I think about it, the more upset it made me and the more hurt I became. So rather than let this stew and fester and become a big problem, I'm coming to you to talk about it. And she's never once said, "Oh my God, I can't believe you said that." Or, "Oh my God, I can't believe you think that of me," or whatever it is. And it's great to actually talk to your partner and not feel like, how are they going to react? Are they going to fly off the handle? Are they going to hit you? Are they going to do all these things? Are they gonna like do a half-butted apology, like, "Well, I'm sorry you feel that way," not "I'm sorry I did that," or "I'm sorry that happened." "I'm sorry you feel that way," which is kind of an apology, but it's more about letting themselves off the hook because, well, I said I was sorry. It's not my fault that they don't accept it. That's all on them.
So if I could, now again, we're talking about, what our relationship is like, and we are in by no means telling anyone else how to live their life or what's the right way or the wrong way. Now,
Absolutely not.
communication is key. That's something that everybody needs to know. Communication is key. And especially, when we were in a pandemic and having to stay almost isolated from other people and 6 feet away and all of that.
Well, I was 3,000
Sometimes,
miles away, so
yeah, we were well within in standards.
we had that distancing down.
We did. Um, but I think it made it harder for people to communicate, to have those face-to-face conversations. So when it comes to like what Coffee was talking about and, coming to me and talking to me about things, when you have those conversations and you have them in a calm, rational setting, as he said, the one thing I would suggest is make sure that it's just you and your partner having the conversation. Don't bring in your parents and your family and your friends and the next door neighbor
and your girlfriends.
and your boyfriends and all of that. It should be the people who are involved in the situation. I think I mentioned it a time or two that I do work in education. And this is something I even do when I'm trying to help students resolve, playground issues. I only want the students who are involved in the situation. I don't need, a whole half circle of kids all watching this. I only want the kids who are involved. And I have one person talk about what they felt was happening and what they experienced. And then I have the other person talk about it. And then we talk together to try to come up with a resolution. And I'm trying to get, even kids to understand that, you have to be open. You have to have that communication, and it should just be the people who are involved. If you have ever been, or you think you may have been, partner shamed, don't let it stew and fester. If this has actually happened to you, and believe me, I do understand what that feels like if it has happened to you, talk to the other person. And if you don't feel that you can talk to them, talk to someone. Because like I said, when it happened to me, it was hurtful. It was, it was abusive what I went through. And for a long time, I couldn't talk about it because I didn't know how to talk about it. And eventually, I did have to seek help to talk about what I had been going through because it was really affecting my life. So, talk to the other party. And if you can't, please talk to someone. And if you feel like you don't have anyone to talk to, you can reach out to myself or to Coffee or to both of us because we'll listen. We absolutely will.
Absolutely.
If you're sitting there and you're saying, oh, I think I may have done this to someone, go to that person, check in with them, and see if, see how they're doing. Because again, communication is key.
Absolutely. If you can't, like she said, if you can't talk to someone, therapy is always an option, or counseling, or there are dozens of helplines out there where people will listen to you and not judge you, and it will be that ear that you need. And absolutely, if it gets to that point, and like I said, I've been through this, I understand it. I'm not saying I'm in any way perfect. I'm trying to get better every day, every week, every whatever. I'm always constantly improving myself in what I'm doing, and I try to be the best communicator I can with Anna, and we work things out. We don't let things sit and get worse, and just the longer you let things sit, the worse it's going to be.
So I think that's it for tonight. Yeah, because you're.
The cup
Oh, it's not even like almost empty. It's gone.
I blew right,
3, 2, 1, boom.
I blew past the low coffee light.
So, you usually take the end. Do you mind if?
Absolutely.
All right. So that's going to do it for this edition of Coffee and Cuddles. And as always, have a good night, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you are listening to this. We will be back next week with another episode. And again, this is our 2 cents worth, and your own mileage may vary. We love you, and we will talk to you very soon. Bye.